Hello and welcome, my fellow geeks, to another episode of Galactic Geeks. I am your Galactic Geek, EJ, and with me, of course, is Alexis. Say hello to the lovely people.
How? No, I'm kidding. What's up, people? This is Alexis over here doing a late night Galactic Geeks show for you guys.
That's right, just
Right?
because it's Labor Day weekend doesn't mean that we take a break from you.
What is sleep? We
What
don't
is
know.
sleep? I don't know what sleep is, but we are coming to you late because there's stuff to talk about, and I want to talk about
Yeah.
comics because I have a condition where if I don't talk about comics every 2 hours, uh, uh, my head explodes. But
This is the part where I would put a head exploding GIF.
if you could, but
And
you
you
can't.
guys you guys know which one I'm talking about. The really good exploding head, the mannequin or whatever.
The
Could be a
really
real
good
person.
exploding head mannequin one. You know the one I'm talking about. Have you seen Scanners? We've all seen
You've
Scanners.
seen it.
I think it's from a movie called Scanners. I could be wrong. There could be people
Oh,
angry
okay.
now that I said it was
Yeah, I
Scanners.
actually heard that was a good movie. Um, but
I've heard of it. I've never seen it. On top of the list, we're gonna go straight into the Star Wars news, and it
oh
was,
yeah,
I guess, revealed because it's Force Friday or was Force Friday for some toy
yes,
reveals. Now we pretty much gotta see
September
what
3rd, Force Friday. Second Force Friday, actually. Fun fact,
it,
ever.
I've seen the signs. Yeah, I think I walked into a GameStop and they had a sign for it. And I was like, "What the fudge is this?" It was
Yeah, a whole bunch of things are on discount. But I mean, when you're talking about a $150 toy, yeah, I think you can take that discount and shove it.
no, screw that noise. But the big thing that people are talking about with the toy reveal is the Snoke. You could get a closer look at what he is and like, ooh, the color of his robe and like you get better details of his
Yeah, looking
face.
very looking very gold member-y. With the longest belt I think I've ever seen.
Is
And
another shining
at least
example of something being ruined by toys before the movie's even out. Because now we know what color his goddamn robe is, and now I don't know what to think of anything anymore.
well, we kind of got it before with the Entertainment Weekly photos, but to see it in toy form, it's almost like I feel like I'm cheating right now. Like I'm seeing Snoke sitting on his imperial freaking throne,
Yeah,
Game of Thrones kind of looking throne, and yeah, he's. But what's really distracting me is that he's all gold. Like maybe
yeah.
I'm just like not used to the idea of my Darksiders being in all the gold. But
I
points for
love
creativity, I guess.
gold.
Mike Myers, in gold. Gold.
Quiet, we're showing our age. Uh, and it's not a movie merchandising without a Funko Pop, all right?
Oh yes, Funko
Because
for
you
sure.
haven't sold your soul until it's all in Funko Pop form. And we do have a Supreme Leader Snoke in Funko Pop.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it just looks like the Deadpool one with the mask off. But hey, what do I know? Uh,
Yeah, it's I actually like, he actually does look scary in this one. Like,
because Doll's
he's
eyes are
still got
scary,
that
yo.
weird belt and his hand like up in the sky as if he's like saying something super important.
He does have his
Palm
hand in
facing
the
up.
air. Yeah, it's because that's the bad guy way of talking. Like you're always carrying, like they're always holding your life in their hands.
Yeah.
Like I swear,
He's
the other
yeah.
toy's doing it too. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. It's like very like he almost like in General Hux in The Force Awakens with that big speech that he does at the route, in front of all
Yeah,
those thousands of troopers.
I thought he was just turning off the hologram, moving his hand around. Like, be gone.
199, number 199 for all you um pop Funko collectors. Supreme Leader Snoke with his
199.
gold bath robe.
It's gonna be the easiest cosplay for everybody now.
Yeah, just get a gold robe with a long ass belt and shave your head and put your palm up in the sky.
There you go. They're gonna think you're either Pope Benedict or this guy. But
Cool. So yeah, Force Friday, and then we also got BB9E.
The what
which
the
is the
Sphero toy? The
yep, it's the basically the first order version of BB-8.
Yeah, I went
I'm
to a
sure
Best
you all
Buy
have
and it was
seen it.
already there. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Again,
they
I still
timed all
feel like
this.
cheating. I feel like I'm not supposed to see this,
Yeah.
but
But that's just the way
what
the
kind of
market
used
works
to
now.
be, I feel like, I mean, maybe it's just because it's Star Wars or whatever, but I feel like they're getting really big with these toy reveals, like, same thing with Marvel and like the Avengers movies, like,
Because it's Disney money. Like they already know if it's gonna make them money or not off the bat, more or less, and they know they're making good Star Wars. So they're just gonna be like, you know
yeah,
what?
true.
We gotta get ahead of it.
Yeah.
We gotta get parents
But
talking
like, where's
about
the
the
sense
toy
of
season.
surprise? Like, I wanna like be surprised that I see Snoke in a gold cloak,
It
like I've been
started
talking
happening
to.
with like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 when it started releasing toys like half a year before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And that's where we are now. Toys are spoiling movies. Every time when I went to the Lego aisle, half of Spider-Man Homecoming was spoiled for me through Lego story panels. Like here's the truck scene, the here's Iron Man intervening, here's the boat, here's God damn
Yeah.
it, here's everything.
Yeah, with the billboard, I like seeing a billboard like on the highway. That's how I knew Iron Man was gonna be um
Yeah,
in Homecoming. I mean, although of course we all know that from Age of Ultron that he's had some, the pretty much gave Spider-Man his start,
yeah.
but
You
I didn't
mean
want to
Captain
see him like
America
flying in a
Civil
suit
War?
like in a billboard. Like I want to save that for the movie. Like surprise me in the movie, not like weeks before. Like I mean, and that's the whole thing with trailers and stuff too. And certain actors like Mark Hamill actually recently said it too, that to not watch the trailers, or not to try to look on every poster and try to make
Hmm.
out everything, to leave it as this surprise, like save for the show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, of course, because like trailers give away too much, and you don't have any sense of like surprise when something cool
Yeah,
happens because it was already in the trailer. Especially when trailers use
yeah,
all the best scenes, and you go there and all you see is the exposition that happened in between those scenes.
yeah, yeah.
That's
And
always
like
a
I found myself actually during Rogue One, I'm like, that that scene wasn't in the movie. Like that part wasn't in that was in the
oh
trailer
yeah, but
wasn't in
those
the
was because
movie.
of
And
massive reshoots.
oh yeah, that's true. Could have been because of that too. But
But
yeah,
but
maybe I might try. I mean, I'll probably save it for the next like a Star Wars trailer, but I'm not gonna like look on toys and
yeah,
try to see. I mean, although actually I may read the novels, but not to find answers, just because that's one of my goals to read every single one of the new Star Wars novel canons or canon novels.
novels about cannons. All right, that's awesome. Uh,
Canon novels.
next on the
Novels canon.
ne
Novels canon.
next on
But
the
yeah, moving on.
moving on, next on the
Um,
entertainment news, we learned that Martin Scorsese, which you know Martin Scorsese,
oh
director of
yeah,
The
of course.
Departed, Gangs in New York, is
Yeah,
in talks with
legendary
Warner
director.
Brothers, is in talks with Warner Brothers to produce a standalone uh, Joker movie that's not connected to the not connected to the DCEU,
Yeah,
uh, with quite possibly Leonardo DiCaprio as starring as the Joker.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely a big possibility because Leonardo hasn't. Oh, wait a minute. Is a hot favorite. So it doesn't mean that he's definitely confirmed that he's gonna do this role.
Yeah,
But
but
we'll
he's looked
see.
into it.
Cause what?
But the offer is there. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah. It's
what the
definitely
story is.
offered. I mean, but I mean, how many offers does Leonardo DiCaprio get?
Yeah, but when Martin Scorsese's putting up the offer, regardless that he's just producing it, he's gonna
Like,
probably jump on it. But did you hear about how Jared Leto isn't happy about it, apparently?
of course. I mean,
Because
yeah. I mean, who?
just
I mean, I get it. You're the hot shit. You're the hot Joker. Like after
all your
rest his
hype.
soul, Heath Ledger
Oh my God.
passed on. I mean, he's
I
in
still
also
can't
that movie.
believe, I still can't believe we call it the Oscar-winning movie Suicide Squad. It won an Oscar.
Wait, really?
You
Holy
didn't know
shit!
this?
How the fuck?
For
Oh, damn, I
costume and
missed that
makeup.
one. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was it was a terrible movie and stuff. I enjoyed it, but Oscar win?
Yeah.
Oscar win?
Did you hear what I said though? Like which Oscar it was? It was makeup and costume.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Right. Oh, there.
so it's just basically a big cosplay.
You did the best
It's just a
cosplay. Here's
really
the
good
Oscar.
cosplay with like decent actors.
Well, apparently Jared Leto is like a little steamy because 2 weeks ago, Variety reported that it was confirmed that they are making a Jared Leto Joker and Harley Quinn movie. But now, 2 weeks later, we're hearing about this Leonardo DiCaprio Joker possible movie.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
is he being sidelined? Are we abandoning the Leto Joker, which I am completely fine with?
Nah, that Joker's gonna stick around. I think he did very well. I think he was one of the few good things of Suicide Squad.
Well, we'll see. We'll
And
see, because there's a
but man,
future here.
I can I mean yeah someone DiCaprio, he's definitely like that. My bad. He's definitely that caliber of actor that you can tell that would do something like Joker. But I don't know, man. Joker's not an easy role to fill, and is the rival Joker, which will kick off the War of the Jokers, like in real Batman
That
canon,
would be
right?
crazy.
Oh no, and the guy actually that they've picked to like help write the scripts for that Leonardo DiCaprio supposedly Joker Scorsese movie,
Hmm.
that he's written um comics about different Jokers existing in the same universe.
I heard about this storyline where pretty much Batman becomes like God, and then he tries to find out,
Right.
like, give me the Joker's
Yeah, he sits in
name.
the Mobius chair,
Yes.
and then he asked what is the name of the Joker, and I guess they shows him three Jokers, three different
Yeah.
Jokers.
Yeah. And I didn't read like, oh God, what were their names? I stopped there because I was like already too much to take in. It was like, wait,
Yeah, yeah.
what? That does that make more sense or less sense? Damn you, comic books. And speaking of comic books, the next agenda here is the Inhumans show, the ABC
Oh
pilot for
yes.
the new Marvel, uh, possibly cinematic universe tied-in show
Yeah.
is premiering at IMAX. I have not seen it. I don't know if I should. I kind of want to wait till I hear more about it before I'm
Yeah.
like, let me dish out $18 to go see this 2 hour TV pilot in theaters, even though it is shot in IMAX cameras. But that just means it is
Looks
shot
good.
nicely. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
the story is better. I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, what about you? Are you just gonna wait for it to show up on
I
TV?
no, honestly, I don't think I'm gonna do the whole IMAX pilot viewing.
No.
For that, I just like save my money for a movie that I think I'm gonna enjoy probably more. That being said, the Inhumans, I'm not too fond of them. I know they exist within like pretty much like the Avengers, you know, Marvel timeline.
Hmm.
Um, and what Black Bolt is the leader, and I know that he doesn't speak, so I guess his voice is like super powerful. So he's the king, but he stays
Yeah.
quiet. And then there's like the Medusa chick with her hair and hair whipping.
Queen Medusa.
Queen Medusa, yeah, she does that. You see in the trailer where she kind of lifts up her hair tentacles. And then you got I'm not sure who the other ones are.
Well, I can
Um,
fill out at least one more for you off the top of my head. Karnak, he's got the ability to see the weakness in any structure, fighting style, armor, pretty much like whatever is the weak point figurative and literal. He could pretty much point it out. Uh,
Yeah.
and I can't recall the other two. And of course, you got the famous dog, Lockjaw, the teleporting dog. I've read
Oh,
Inhumans
oh,
in the comics, and I was not looking. I didn't ask for it, but I'm not gonna say no to it, you know.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna watch it when it's on when it airs on TV because this is a TV show. It's a TV show regardless. It's you can tell, and I think somebody officially said is we're just trying to do Game of Thrones with Marvel characters because it's about a
Okay.
royal family, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
about the betrayal and the
Oh,
double
okay. Yeah. So
cross and
very
the
good. Yeah.
matricide, you know.
Yeah. I guess it's like about time that we saw something like that. Even though I'm not too crazy about that. Like, yeah, I like the, of course, Game of Thrones fantasy drama.
Next on the list, we got the comics of the week, where I rant about some comic books and what I think were pretty much the best ones that came out this week. Uh, and on top of the list, I'm going to go on my "Oh my God, it looks so pretty" rant for Secret Empire number 10, written by Nick Spencer, pencils done by Stephen McNiven. And I gotta tell you, it was uh, brightly, not bright, it was grim.
Mm,
It we start out basically evil Captain America has a suit made that houses the fragments of the cosmic cube that they collected. So it pretty much
mm.
gives them control over reality. So all
Oh,
the
shit.
heroes are just like they gotta run away, but they can't. Uh, and he shows off his power by just rewriting reality. The whole all of Washington D.C. is like a Hydra funhouse. Uh, it's quite frightening, and it's all about I guess, with the overlord of like what happens if you let fascism win. But
Mm,
everything gets changed except for Falcon because he's holding the other piece of the cube, so he's immune to it. And then he's walking up to Steve and he gives him the piece and he tells him Hail Hydra, like if he's seen the evil light. But it's a double cross because when he absorbs the cosmic cube, it turns out Ant-Man was inside of it, really small, with the Winter
oh,
Soldier,
cool.
and they they were able to pull out the real Captain America that they rewrote history over from the
Mm,
Cosmic Cube. So now there are two Captain Americas, this Hydra Cap and the real Cap, and they just start battling it out in the most dramatic, metaphysical, meta. Is meta meant for metaphysical? Well, anyway, the most meta fight imaginable, where you have
it's just awesome.
Evil Captain America, fist fighting, uh, real Captain America, and all the TV cameras are on them. And in the money shot of this whole issue is when they both run towards Thor's hammer, and Hydra Cap, who was able to lift it before, tries to pick it up and he can't. And then you get a quick flashback on how the Hydra witch that was part of their team just like
Yeah.
magically changed the words on the hammer to make it so evil Steve could lift it in that moment to like to this yeah, what's the word I'm looking for here when you're trying to mentally fuck with your enemy. It's like, oh shit, he made him,
Oh,
he picked up the hammer, so now
reverse psychology.
yeah, well I guess not reverse psychology, more like oh well I guess that's the best thing I could think of. But he couldn't pick up the hammer, and then the real Captain America says, "Hey, here, let me try," and then smacks him in the head with the fucking hammer, just breaking his fucking costume, knocking him unconscious, and then
Oh,
he's
cool.
like, "I don't need this." He throws away the hammer back to Thor, and is like, "This isn't mine either," and gives back the shield to the new Captain America, and that was the highlight right there. The rest of it's just like oh, the rebuilding, but that it was the money shot. It was
It was what you came, it's what you paid for.
it's what I paid for. It was nice art. This wasn't an amazing story arc, but it was a nice little filler. I've definitely read better, but I'm not mad that I read it. So that's pretty
Okay.
much my takeaway from Secret Empire. And on that note, I want to get into the next pick of the week, which is part of the 100th birthday of Jack Kirby celebration that both DC and Marvel are doing together, which is pretty
Oh
nice.
yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
read about that. Actually, Alex Ross's Twitter. I think I found out that they're doing a Jack Kirby tribute comic.
Yeah, they've already been a couple out, but this is the first time I'm talking about it here on the show because this one was pretty great. Darkseid, #1 oversized special, part of the like I said, the Jack Kirby anniversary, birthday
Oh
celebration, and
yeah,
we all know
Darkseid.
Darkseid, right? Okay, now did you know, little fact, did you know that Darkseid was made? I forget if he was made before or after Darth Vader. I forget, because one was inspired by the other. God damn it,
Oh
I forget which way it was. I mean, first off, his name, Darkseid.
yeah.
Damn it, I
So
forget.
maybe Darkseid influenced Vader with the black. Like
Yeah, I can't remember which one came first right now. I
I don't
should
know
look it up.
because Vader has influences from like uh, uh, World War II Nazi regime.
Well, in this story, it's a double comic. You know, an oversized special usually means there are two stories inside, but I'm just going to talk about the first half, which was written by Mark Evanier and art by Scott Collins, which tells the story of a group of teenage kids that are orphans that got away from Granny. If those of you remember, Granny is some crazy chick that trains children to be like subordinates of Darkseid on the sad home world of Apocalypse. But these kids got rebellious and escaped, and that's like a big deal on that planet. Nobody's supposed to be rebellious. So Darkseid's been looking for them for 3 years, even though they're just a pair of kids. So they finally found them, and you learn about three of them. One is the main character is a female. I forget her name right now, but it, the story was definitely told more through the art. And the problem with a lot of this old DC stuff for me is that it gets really wordy, you know. But I wanted to mention it because it got my interest back into it when she was finally caught by Darkseid, and Darkseid just like she asks him, like, why were you so? I know that you're a tyrant. And I know you're a tyrant because you fear us. You fear that we can rise up and like bring you down because we are the many and you are the few. Um, and then he tells her, you know, what I'll tell you now is only because you will soon die. And I
Of
have that,
course.
and I have
How
that
are we
night.
gonna know, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then like I have
Someone's
that
not
night.
almost gonna die.
I have that nightmare every night where the poison known as the masses like this comes to topple my control over, and all you can do is have more power and more control, but then that just keeps leading to more and more of the same. So he's pretty much admitting to her that like yeah, she's right. And then she pretty much pulls out, haha, I recorded the whole thing. And he's really pissed about this. So he tries to like Omega beam her right off the bat, but she falls off the balcony and falls down. And and
Oh, that's
I
cool.
and he's like angry. And when Darkseid's angry, it is like intense, and it's amazing
Yeah.
because it's not about it wasn't about him getting physically bested. It was about him getting like literally just caught on record saying he's scared of the poor and the ones that he's enslaved rising up against him. Because if that gets
Wow.
out, then they
They are
will.
gonna do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's cool.
But that's what I
Sounds
thought.
good.
I thought it was pretty
Sounds fun.
nice. Yeah, like I got in and out, but you know, it was good in the
It is
long
what
run.
it is.
Next up, we're gonna talk about Star Wars. Jedi of the Republic, Mace Windu #1, written by Matt
Yeah.
Owens and pencils by Denise Cowan. So you gave this just to read a little while ago. You
Yeah,
wanna?
yeah, and it's definitely a fun read. Basically, like what it's about is it takes place right after episode two, right after the Clone Wars begin, and you follow it obviously from Mace Windu's perspective, and it opens up with him having pretty much a conversation with Kiadi Mundi, who's one of the council members on the Jedi in episode three, the one with the long conical head, and it's
Oh, yeah.
funny because he's actually in um, hologram form, sitting next to Mace, and they're having like conversation somewhere like private, and it was kind of cool actually. Talking about it, that was actually a callback to episode three itself, where we saw him like that in hologram form, like in a council meeting.
Yeah.
But anyways, so they basically kind of end the conversation with Mace saying, like we're moving away from peacekeepers, like because there's some conflict, you know, for starting not starting, but just participating in the Clone Wars and leading the clones into battle. So Mace has like a lot of almost like confliction with that. Like he's very conflicted. So he basically leaves Mundi basically saying that we're moving away from being peacekeepers. And then it cuts to him getting his assignment from Yoda. And it's basically a mission to a planet called Hisrich or Hisrick. Not sure I pronounced that
Yes,
yet.
Rick.
Um, and Yoda sends, basically, Yoda states that there's a separatist activity going on, like on the planet. So they have to, like, kind of take care of that before they rise up. So Mace assembles a Jedi team. It's basically like kind of like a, four Jedi squad. Um, where you have one of the team members you might know from is Kit Fisto, uh, or basically the first Jedi that Palpatine killed in that final battle at Episode Three with Palpatine and all those Jedi.
Oh
The first one
yeah.
to fall, yeah, he's this basically the lieutenant of this Jedi team. Then you got this kind of like blind samurai Jedi called Proset Dibs. Uh, Blind, he's human, and he's got this gray hair, slick back. And then the last member is Risa Manlo, and she's basically like the young, like spunky Jedi engineer. She's actually an engineer, and
Spunky.
she's like, yeah, she's kind of like the young, like female, like she just became a Jedi Knight, full of like
Hope.
ready to kick, ready to kick ass.
Oh,
Well, not really hope, but just like ready, like to do it. Like, um, I don't know, spunky. I guess that's the best way I can say it.
Spunky's a good word.
Um, and then so then they get to this planet, and it's actually kind of cool because Mace Windu has his own like uh, costume separate from the movies. In that brown or dark brown that he wears in the movies, he's
Mm.
like wearing black. They're all wearing black, and it's
Oh,
like kind of cool to see like Jedi like that. And then they're basically on the planet, and they're like scouting around, and then there's like a little bit of the B-1 battle droids, the Roger Roger droids.
Roger, Roger.
Um, yeah, they're basically kind of like doing their little humor, like, oh, it's so quiet around here. Like, don't say that. Like, something might happen if you say that. Like, kind of humor.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Um, And so then, like, this Proset Dibs guy, this blind samurai Jedi, he basically is talking to like Windu separately, and he's like basically like stating, uh, we're moving away from like the Jedi principles and like kind of furthering Windu's like um, conflictedness, like the Jedi overall's conflictedness with being in this war. And then you have a scene where all the Jedi are like ambushing this um, battle droid platoon,
Hmm.
and like kicking ass, slicing droids left and right. And then it pretty much starts ending with commando droids closing in on the section where the Jedi have cleared out. And then right at the end, you see the bad guy who's like in charge of like the what's going on the separatist side on the planet, and he's basically a a mercenary droid for hire. Where he's a cool looking droid actually, red, kind of striking paint job. And yeah, he pretty much knows that Mace Windu's on the planet, and the next issues I'm sure is with
Oh.
them trying to kill this evil droid.
Is this one of the few issues that are taking place in the prequel time of
Yes,
the ongoing
yes,
Marvel
and
runs?
that's what I like about it. Like it's basically like it's a prequel story that we've never seen like in an era that like you know like just one right after episode two. Like that's really you we never really see that. I mean, there's legends and stuff now that explains it, but it's cool because it really captures the prequels, and I mean that like it's basically like, it captures that prequel cheesiness,
Hmm.
you know, good. Like it's very true to the prequels in all aspects. Like Mace Windu, the art for him like was really cool because it was almost like different interpretations of the same character within the same issue. Like the front cover is like the Samuel Jackson and Mace Windu, and then like the first couple pages are like a different, maybe like more like cartoony eyes, or bigger eyes, and then in one shot you see him like almost like semi-human, like almost like his features are like Neanderthal, and like it's just there's just different versions of that, which is pretty cool. I have to say that it was a fun, good roller coaster comic, uh, right in the era of this prequels, Clone Wars as we're talking, and
Hmm.
yeah, I just thought it was actually a cool bad guy. Like even though we didn't see anything, like just his design and being a droid for hire, like yeah, the Separatists have had droids before, but this was like he was different. Like he has like a killer instinct to him. Like
Yeah. All
so,
right.
but yeah,
All
that's
right.
my pick of the week.
All right.
Mace Windu number one. Check
That
it out.
those were our comics of the week. With that, we I like to pull out some random stuff that I like to randomly mention. Which one of it
Yes,
is, most of us have PlayStations. I believe you are
yes,
on the
proud
PlayStation
owner.
family.
Lex 287 PSN ID if anybody wants to holla
Yeah.
at your boy.
Full Demon 0716 on the PSN
Uh,
for anybody who wants to join. I've had that for years, decades at this point. Um, But usually PlayStation Plus has okay games now and then. But right now they just put in for the month of September Infamous Second Son. That's the PS4 exclusive title that came out with like the launch of the system. I played it, I beat it, but definitely gonna re-download this just to have it. I don't know about you.
yeah, fun combat system with these infamous games. Second Son, actually, I think I had it downloaded on one of my PlayStations. I played it. I mean, it didn't really keep me intrigued to the end, but it has a cool battle system like that.
Yeah.
Very wide range um, attacks and views. Yeah, it's cool. Take advantage of that.
It's yeah, no, it's a nice little thing, you know. It's a nice little pick me up. It's a lot nicer than the thing that I'm gonna randomly segue into here. Death Note.
All
Death
right,
Note
suck it to
happened.
me. Oh yeah,
Death
let's
Note
talk about
happened on
train wrecks.
Netflix. Man, train wrecks. You know what? At least train wrecks look cool when they're happening.
That is true,
All
actually.
right, if you want to look past the gore and the humanity, like if you were there when it happened, it must have been like, whoa. And then you find out how many people died later. But no, no, here,
Yeah.
man, okay. What was your first red flag?
Um, right when they were like kind of like portraying Light as a depressed kid, who like basically is falling for some cheerleader who smokes. Like I was like, oh man, is this where we're going? Is this
Okay.
where we're going with this? Um, yeah, it was. I mean, but the thing is, like watching these like rehashes of movies, like you're always gonna have that standard. You're always gonna have like, oh, okay, this is how I already feel about this character, or I think this character should go because I saw it done
Yeah.
like that.
No, like you expect them to do something different, but there's different, and then there's whatever the fuck this was. Uh, I'll tell you right now, red flag first off the bat was yeah, the girl smoking outside, and I'm just like, I don't know, nobody, first off, nobody else is doing it. Uh,
It's because
second,
she's different. She's different. She's
second,
different.
if you
Yeah,
noticed,
sorry.
I saw somebody online say it, she does not smoke again throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Well, that would have been a weird cutaway to her. Like, I
I
mean, maybe
know,
they could have done like a scene where
but there's
like
plenty of
they're
times
like
where she should
flirting
be
with each
like,
other or more romancing, and then maybe she pulls out another cigarette, like in
yeah,
that scene. But
there should have been plenty of moments for her for having a cigarette. They were murdering people. There are plenty of times to get stressed and say you need a smoke if
hey,
you are a
don't
regular
tell her,
smoker.
tell her how to live her life.
Apparently not. My second red flag was Light's hair. My
No, I mean they tried. I
my
mean that wouldn't have bothered me so much if it was like done right.
my third red flag was him meeting Ryuk for the first time and screaming
Yeah.
like the biggest little bitch. I was like, do I
Him
want to
him
go
being
there?
in darkness actually kind of like threw me off. Like, why was it? I feel like he was always. I feel like I was just waiting for him to come out into the light. But no, he was just like always in darkness. Like, I get it. Like, it's a CGI character, but let me see him like
It keeps
not
him
hiding
ominous.
behind like a science lab shelf and in the dark corner of the room. I mean, yeah, he did that in the comics, but we were able to see how he looked like. He was
Yeah.
white skinned. Like when you think of Ryuk, okay, you you think of Ryuk, it's that pale face with those freaking fish eyes and that spiky hair. Like I feel like they concentrated a lot on the spike. I don't know. They were like, look, spiky creature.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I know what you're talking about. But, you know, props to Willem Dafoe playing Willem Dafoe
don't know.
on
I don't need no
like
source material. Fuck source material.
I'm just gonna read these like I'm slightly annoyed at the bag boy at my grocery store. All right.
You forgot paper or plastic.
Yeah, pretty much. But like it was still great. I loved him. I mean, pretty much Willem Dafoe and the guy who played L was trying with what he was given.
Yes, yes. That like, and that's what I said online. Like he was the only decent part of that movie, decent cog in the otherwise cog cog wheel.
Of this film. Okay, and like the whole time with Light, we're never really led to believe that he's very smart to begin with.
Yeah, that's what kind of threw me off. Like again, going into it, seeing Light from the manga and the anime, he's super smart. Like he's kind of almost like a
Manipulative. He's a sociopath.
ace. He's an ace in everything. Like
Yeah.
he's an awesome tennis star. Like he like I don't know, like does commercials and like acts or whatever. I don't know, like all this awesome stuff. And then no, we get a depressed kid who like the only thing you see that he's smart at is that he's doing the paper like right at the opening scene. He's handing off
Yeah.
finished papers to
Did you notice that he didn't finish it? That was like an incomplete worksheet that
uh
he gave back and got paid for. So the
either they were trying to make him look smart by putting an even stupider kid next to him, or that was just a blooper.
I think it was a blooper. I'm pretty sure it was a blooper.
Yeah.
Uh,
But anyway,
but
so but like I mean, actually let's go to L for a second because L actually like it was African American. It was black.
which was fine.
Which is striking at first. Striking at first, I was like, oh, cool, they're going this route. But he was actually the best part of it. Like he was true to the character. Like
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like he was the whole running in after light with a gun was kind of weird, like out of character, and like him
because
like
it's American.
charging for um light's neck. Like, he was like charging. He charged that light, and his father pinned L down. Like
Yeah,
I
like
mean, it was
he
cool.
was. It was a. There was a like over emotional sense, and then the
Yeah,
it's an American thriller suspense.
yeah,
There's going to be a
yeah.
chase with a gun through a street. It's
Yeah,
unavoidable. And
I think that was the underlying thing about this was that it was Americanized.
yeah, I mean,
And
the dad was the most Americanized thing, and I liked
yeah,
him. I thought he was fine for what we got.
I don't
Uh,
know. I wanted a mustache.
well, I don't. Those at that point, those are aesthetics. But then, like, okay, so you got the mom who's dead to give him the tragic backstory because then he's like less of a I don't know monster. I don't know why we need to humanize him when he should be exactly what he is, a sociopath. But I felt like
And then
what they
with
did
L
was they took
being
Light and they split
yeah,
him in half, and they made one the guy his bitchy side, and then they made his girlfriend the meticulous psychotic planning side,
right.
and they
Yeah,
so and those two
yeah,
made up Kira. But and I'm like,
yeah,
is that what you're doing? Because why? Because she was more methodical with that notebook
yeah,
throughout the movie.
yeah. She was actually. Well, doing the whole like tricking, like,
The
oh no,
FBI
but I
agents.
wrote your name in it, but if you burn it before midnight, you won't die.
Which how'd you feel about that rule?
Um, I'm not too sure because I don't know if it was
I don't think it's
in
real.
in the anime.
I think those are
Um,
rules that they're just coming up for the convenience of the story.
yeah, I don't think it did.
Okay, and then we get to the ending. We get to the ending, and we're like led to believe that Light thought this whole shit out in like 20 seconds of this elaborate plan with the doctor and the pedophile.
Oh, the ending sucked. Oh, the ending was terrible. Like,
And I'm like,
so basically, Light's father figures out that Light is Kira, and then he he says, "How do you do it?" And then Light replies with some weird, like, esoteric response. But the Death Note is hidden under his pillow in the hospital. Like,
hmm
dude, how are you gonna like? He got it. He tricked some other guy using the Death Note to give it to him, and like they eventually kill himself. But what do you? I mean, your father. If you knew your father was coming, why didn't you hide it somewhere better or not under your pillow? Like he's gonna look like he's already gonna place you under arrest because you he believes you're Kara.
because it's a vague movie ending, so they can like come
It was
back to a
very vague,
sequel and
and
do
then
whatever the hell
Light,
they want.
and then L. What was L? Like L was like figuring out that. Oh no, he was writing Light's name in the one piece of the Death Note that was um, hidden away by Mia. Actually, as you pointed out, she was the meticulous one, like planning
The
and shit. But
this
did he die? Like he wrote his name, but they didn't show what happened. Like if he died like 40 seconds later, or if he got arrested by his father. Like he just laid. He just ended. It ended with him being on the hospital bed, being
yeah,
caught by both L and his father, with nothing actually showing what's happening, like
yeah.
showing what
We're
ends up
like
happening to him.
we don't know the consequences and what's to come. So
Bad,
this was
bad rehash.
bad rehash, bad everything. Uh, I almost want to say I try to appreciate what they wanted to do, but it just fell so
Yeah, I know.
short.
But they did a live action Death Note thing before, like.
Yeah, yeah, in Japan, but
But yeah, that's right. That's right.
everybody
No, I mean
loves
the
to
best way,
Americanize it.
honestly, the best way I've seen them all, and I've seen the anime, all the seasons and everything, and
Uh-huh.
but the manga is the way to go. Manga, I think I had the best experience with Death Note.
There you go. You heard that. A purist response. That's what true otakus say right there. The manga first. All right. That's how you do it. All right. And with that, we finish off talking about a very shitty movie. Uh, and hopefully Netflix will never ever do this again. All right. But
Bad Netflix, bad.
thank you, Willem Dafoe, for using your Green
For
Goblin
your three
performance.
scenes of
Yeah,
that character.
yeah. Of pretty much being like the visible Grim Reaper from the Final Destination films. That's another episode of the Galactic Geeks podcast with me, EJ,
Yes.
and your fellow Galactic Geek with me right here, Alexis.
It's your boy.
You could follow us at our Twitter at Galactic Gcast, or you could give us an email, shoot us a question, or what have you at galacticgeekspodcast@gmail.com. You could even follow me on Twitter personally on hi@hiash0716, or my friend here at Lex287. And as always, hail Hydra.
And may the force be with you.
Dun 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 dun.